Well, hello and welcome back to the Friday night update. It's Friday. I'm here with Carney. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm exhausted after my first day back at work, but I feel good about it.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So, yeah.
Well, not the exhausted part, but the feeling good part.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Froggy. Nice to
Hey,
see
Foggy!
you in. Welcome,
Welcome.
welcome. How are you doing today? I hope you've had a good day. I've had a good day, which is just as well because my first day back at work after being off with COVID. Um, Still not 100% symptom free, but was able to do my job without too many issues. So that was a nice benefit, a nice surprise. I was expecting it to be harder than it was, but um, the boss was really good to me and kept a lot of the heavy parcels off my route. Um, so, so yeah, yeah, me neither. But yeah, if it's your thing, then good for you. He says he's doing awesome and he's glad I'm feeling better. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right. So let's get into the update. And I've just realized that your volume was turned off. So
My volume was not turned off. My
yeah,
volume was in the stream.
I've just turned it back on. So apologies for that. I think I hit the wrong button at the wrong time. But there we go.
Hey, if you don't want me to talk, you can just say.
Well, if I don't want you to talk, I could just like disconnect from the Discord channel and go in another one myself. But that's not how we
Okay.
do things.
What?
Uh, had his fourth booster shot about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that
Well,
reminds me, I have to make an appointment as well.
yeah, because of the fact that I've had COVID now, I have to wait for a month before I can get my booster shot. So that's where we are at the minute. Uh,
Froggy is female, Echo. He says, she says.
oh, sorry.
No problems.
It's just as well that you let me know that actually, because
But it was just in
I
silent
just, I,
S.
yeah, I generically call everybody buddy because it can go either way. So,
Anyway, shall we go into the
yes,
updates, business updates?
yes, we shall. It's Icarus week 45.
Make it 46.
46, yeah, sorry, I'm feeling a week behind.
Yeah.
Update 46, week 46, armor durability balanced and open world question and answer. And it says armor durability has been rebalanced as part of our revamp, along with a new mission, bug fixes, and open world Q&A. Alrighty. So, would you do us the honor of kicking us off? Please go.
Sure. This
Thank
week
you.
we're introducing the second phase of our armor changes and improvements, addressing durability and resistance, and how armors are dealt damage alongside characters. Our goal here has been to simplify and structure the system in a way that allows for scalability and better tiering of armors and more situations to use them in. We've also gone through our top 250 tickets with some community members and addressed a few that were quick and important wins for the game. And at the bottom we have also included the briefing for the new mission, Spelunking Assisted Stockpile, and a Q&A for the upcoming open world game mode.
Cool.
So, like I said yesterday, indeed, this mission is in today's update.
Yes. Yes. And that's a nice image there of the desert, and I think that's the scorpion armor
I think so, yeah. If
because it's
I'm
the
looking
only
at the
one that has
spikes,
all the it's the only one that has all the spikes like that.
yeah. Right.
Alrighty. Armor durability changes. This week we wanted to tackle some issues we have had with armor balance. In the original implementation, we only processed durability loss based on how much damage the armor absorbed. The higher tier armors, which naturally resist more, ended up taking significantly more durability damage because of this, and the resulting perception was that cloth armor appeared more durable than composite armor. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. That's a bit backwards, but there you go. Um, take us to the next one, please,
Yeah.
Cornet.
So, for example, if a bearer delivered 100 damage and your armor provided 50% resistance, 50 damage would go to your character's health and the other 50 would be applied to the armor. However, if you had 25% resistance to your armor, only 25 damage would be dealt to the armor and 75 to your character. This meant armor with more resistance would lose durability considerably faster. Composite armor having way more physical damage resistance took way more damage than the cloth armor, which provides close to no physical resistance. So, yeah, I
Uh,
could understand how people's perception would be that cloth armor appeared to be more durable than composite armor.
yeah, yeah, it makes a bit more sense now.
So they changed this around. In addition, it also meant that damage which wasn't resistant at all resulted in no durability loss being dealt to the armor. So no physical resistance on your armor, you get hit by a bear, the armor takes no damage.
Yeah,
This limited our ability to provide new situations and scenarios where players will need to factor in their armor set before proceeding, making their armor choices and access to better armor more important to general gameplay. Because, yeah, uh, if you want your armor to survive longer, you take armor which doesn't have any physical resistance, so it doesn't take physical damage,
yeah, yeah,
doesn't lose durability.
yeah.
Uh, they changed this around, so different armor types become more important.
Well, that
To
makes
rectify,
sense.
yeah,
Yes.
to rectify this and make it simpler to balance armor sets compared with one another, we have changed this to no longer take into consideration how much damage was resisted, rather, simply how much damage was dealt at the source before any resistance was applied. In the new format, the bear would deliver 100 damage to the armor and 50 damage to the player with a 50% resistance higher tier armor set. With a lower tier 25% resistance set, it would deliver 100 to the armor and 75 to the player. So full damage will be dealt to the armor, no matter what the physical resistance is. However, the damage to the player, this is where the armor resistance factors will be coming into play.
Okay.
This means that we no longer need to give higher tier armor excessive durability values in order to be perceived as comparatively strong gear. This is an important factor with the addition of new sources of durability damage, albeit typically low values, such as storm damage, that would have been of no significance otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take this last one now that my coughing fit is over. Um, we'll be sure to keep an eye on community feedback with these changes, but the hope is that these changes result in armor quality being a more important factor for players. This should reward players who keep their gear maintained and make investing in higher tier armors feel more worthwhile. Ultimately, this means that we can find opportunities to introduce new gameplay mechanics to take this even further. Okay. Well,
Uh,
that that
uh,
that's that's a really big change actually to the armor.
yeah.
So it
I've been messing around in my outpost a bit, but I did not look at the armor durability values yet.
okay, okay, that's a pretty cool image there. I like
Hunter,
the reflection
Hunter
on
armor, I
the
think.
visor. Yeah, that looks like the hunter armor.
Hunter armor and a bolt action rifle.
Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty cool image. I like that.
Yep,
Okay, changes from top 250 feature upvote tickets.
250, and they mention 4 of them here. But okay,
Yeah, well, I think 250 might be a few too many to go through.
true.
Um, but let's take this on board then. We've been working with some of our Discord community members on sorting through our top 250 feature upvote tickets and choosing some quick wins and larger tasks, which may have flown under the radar to roll out this week. A big thanks to Twist and Derkatron for your time.
Decathlon, actually,
Yeah, for your
yeah.
time and support. You're both integral to the game.
As the player name on Discord is not Dorkatron, but Decathlon, if I'm
Oh,
not mistaken.
okay.
Yes, I've seen those two comment a lot, especially Twist.
Yeah,
Twist 2021.
Twist is really, really good at answering questions pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah, and he's knowledgeable, pretty knowledgeable as well. Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. So, with their help, we were also able to remove outstanding suggestions which had already been fixed in the past but remained on the board. So, the first one here is crafting on tables will now pause when inventories are full, preventing the loss of items which, when finished crafting, would be popped into the world nearby. Yes, like the stakes and stuff falling out of the fire through the floor and ending up underneath the house.
This is crafting on tables, not the campfires. But indeed, this was always an issue, like crafting tables spitting out stuff if their inventory got full.
Yeah, yeah, that happened to us just last night, actually.
On a bench.
Yeah, on the crafting bench. The crafting bench was full, and I made something, and it popped out, so I had to pick it up into my own
Yeah.
inventory.
It will now just pause the crafting.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
I'm not sure whether or not it will auto resume when you empty out the inventory, though.
Yeah, well, it just means you'll have to keep an eye on the list of things to be done. So,
Yeah, well, it will still be in the queue, so you will still see what you were actually crafting. So.
yeah. Okay, number two here is debuffs reducing maximum stamina no longer prevent jumping. Notably in ice caves. Good. This also means players can jump repeatedly whilst out of stamina to better navigate rocky terrain. Well, that's brilliant because that's one of the things that
Yeah,
it was a real pet peeve of mine.
yeah. So yesterday, when we were down a bit down in the cave in the Arctic, where we set up
Yes.
some benches, right?
Yeah.
When I asked you to turn on your torch, yeah,
Yes.
that was so the cold debuff. So I warmed up a tiny bit more, so I no longer had the cold debuff, so I could actually jump again to get out of the pit.
Yes.
Otherwise, I would have been stuck there because I believe I had the cold and the cave lung, and those two in combination meant I had like zero stam. I couldn't regen stam anymore.
Yeah,
So I would have been stuck until the cave cough was over.
yeah,
And you lighting the torch removed the cold debuff, so I could actually jump out. This is a big one. It's very annoying if you can't regen stam, you can't jump, you can't get out of the situation you're in order to get rid of
yes,
one of the debuffs.
yes, exactly. So that also suggests that when you're when we're in sticks trying to get up the cliffs, it means that if it out of stam, you might actually still be able to jump up the um the cliff.
Okay, your stream is still running.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was buffering for a second there.
Yeah, I
I know.
because that notification came up on the telly, I kind of had to like squint my eyes to read it because it's just a little bit far away.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the feature upvotes behind this one, and yeah, a lot of people having this issue. Like, hey, I have pneumonia in a cave in the Arctic, and I have cold feet, and I'm stuck behind a stalagmite. I can't get out. I have to use the unstuck things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah. Because otherwise, you'd have been sitting there sitting there all bloody night, waiting for it to turn into day, so that it could, and that's assuming you don't get um, hypothermia in the meantime.
yeah.
So, okay, so the user interface can now be hidden in photo mode and while mounted.
In photo mode, indeed, you couldn't get rid of the user interface, and whilst you were mounted, I have not checked that one.
Okay.
But yeah, you can now, and actually further down there will be more changes to the user interface. Like if user interface is hidden, it becomes more playable now.
Yeah.
User interface is nice if you want to make like hide user interface is nice if you want to make a screenshot or something.
Yes.
But with a hidden user interface, you couldn't really play the game. You couldn't interact with anything.
Yeah, because
Yeah, so
you couldn't see what you were doing, so yeah. That's good. Okay, and the last one here before the image says we've fixed a couple of issues preventing progress in Payday and Voyager. Restarting the prospect will not be needed for these fixes.
yeah, I've seen this mentioned in Discord. Indeed, there are several people got stuck on these missions. Like one of the mission objectives didn't trigger proper, and so yeah, then you can't continue the mission. You can't finish the mission. So what are you gonna do? Pull out? Have done all the work for nothing? They fixed it, and you didn't need to restart the mission. So people who had this issue after this update, they could finally finish the mission, which is good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, those two missions have actually been kind of plagued with bugs.
Yep.
There's been fixes on those two particular missions quite a few times, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
And
Again, that
composite
looks
spear.
like the hunter armor with
Uh,
composite spear.
composite spear for sure. I'm not sure about the armor set though.
Yeah,
Looking
but
at the helmet.
look at the shoulders and the helmet. That looks like the hunter armor.
Uh, let's see. Open a new tab. Zoom in a bit. Yeah, yeah, possibly the hunter armor. Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah. And considering I've never actually used a composite spear, I'm really chuffed that I actually managed to identify it.
Well, we have seen it in images in the patch notes before, and there I classified it as being and actually also checked in game. Uh, it was the composite spear, the
Yeah.
one with the extra tooth,
And
the little tooth.
if I'm not mistaken, that actually looks like the thumbnail that I used for last night's stream and used again for this stream because I didn't have the time to make a thumbnail for it.
Possibly, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe Froggy could let us know whether or not I have that right. In the meantime, could you
Oh,
take
I
us
can quickly
through?
check, of course. It is indeed the thumbnail for this night's stream, and
Okay.
also indeed
Yeah.
for yesterday's stream.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So I was right. Good. Good.
Yeah,
Good. So take us through the next mission, if you please.
yeah. New mission. The what thumbnail, Froggy, for this video? The thumbnail in YouTube, and for yesterday's video. So the image you see in the list in YouTube.
Yeah, that top image, I believe, is the thumbnail that's being used for this stream and last night's stream.
You didn't watch yesterday's stream? Come on, we finally got a Thursday stream again. You didn't even watch it? Oh my.
Oh man, what you haven't even caught up with it today? Oh, oh well,
Well,
something for you to
it
watch over the weekend.
and let me tell you, I liked that mission a lot. It was challenging a lot.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I mean, I came away from it thinking if we'd have been tactical enough to do what we did second time around, first time around, we'd have finished it in about 2 hours.
3.
3, yeah,
So yeah, but it was a nice challenge.
yeah,
It's not a quick go in, run a bit, shoot something, run back, done mission.
yeah,
But yeah, it was a nice and challenging mission. Liked it
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. That was fun. It was fun. It was good. Really enjoyed it. Alrighty, so
Right, the new mission is the Splunking Assisted Stockpile.
yep,
So we have added a new mission for you to tie off week 46, requiring you to explore Icarus' caves and hidden crevices. This mission is designed for rookie prospectors, but we will be doing it with our main characters.
yeah,
And this mission provides some workshop gear to even the playing field. Very good for beginners, for rookie players.
yeah.
So get out there and get some ore and look out for those worms. The briefing is as follows. The operator is UDA. The biome is the forest biome in Olympus. So workshop personnel request additional supplies from the surface to be provided by the prospectors.
Mm-hmm.
The mission is to supply a pod with the requested ore samples. And the terms, the prospector will be provided prefabricated workshop gear, courtesy of Shenggong.
Ooh,
So will be, you could basically drop in without anything and get some Shenggong gear from the dropship and do your mining.
cool. Might be worth check.
We
Might be
might
worth
actually,
test that out.
yeah, we might actually indeed go in without anything, without any space gear, to see if this is indeed a mission doable for a rookie.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a really good. That's a really good idea to go in with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that way you can better determine whether or not it's suitable for a beginner, for a rookie, without any gear.
Cool, cool. And Froggy says, but the thumbnail in YouTube looks good. Well, I'm glad it does. I like that picture a lot, actually. It's pretty cool picture. And she follows that up by saying, "And I paused.
Tetanoboa
Oh,
monster snake fossil
Titan
found
boa
to
monster
watch.
snake
Yeah,
fossil found to watch you.
yeah.
X.
So
Well,
playing Ark and pausing playing Ark to watch us. Thank you.
wow. Yes, we are
Buffering.
honored. We are honored. Okay, I'm
Right
just
ho.
just keeping an eye on my connection here because I've just
Yeah.
had uh, uh,
y-
a refresh
Yeah.
loading wheel come up there for a
YouTube buffered
second.
for a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right. Some open world mode Q&A, and there are a couple of nice things in here, I have to say.
okay. So I'll read the questions and you can read the answers.
Right, hey?
Alrighty. So with open world very close to being added to Icarus, we wanted to cover a few pressing questions the community has has had since we originally announced it. Will I be able to leave in my dropship and come back?
Yes, you can leave and return to your open world session at any time. Basically like your outpost.
Yeah. Okay. So that they might then do what they do with the outposts for the open world so that you get the respawn of resources.
Uh, resource regeneration is for, so we do that.
Hmm. Okay. Can I have multiple active sessions?
Yes, you can have multiple active open world sessions going on at any time, and multiple sessions of the same map. Again, like your outpost.
Yes. Alrighty. What is happening with my existing Olympus outpost?
I'm so glad you asked, because I had the same question as well, and this had me worried a bit about my existing Olympus outpost. But don't you worry, the existing Olympus outpost will convert over to an open world session when the update goes through. Ergo, all work done on this outpost will persist.
Yes. So it's not going to be for naught.
Exactly.
Nice. So that
That's
means
why I
that
continued playing on this outpost again this afternoon a bit.
you can now stay in your outpost and keep your huge building, and it means that I don't lose the glass upside down pyramid.
That was actually in one of the smaller outposts, which will stay anyway.
Oh well, yeah, actually, yeah. Okay. Can I personalize the difficulty settings for my open world prospect?
Yes, you can. You can set your difficulty just as you have been in outposts up to this point. That's to say, the outposts which you created after they implemented the difficulty settings.
Hmm.
In the future, you will be able to adjust difficulty on the go.
So it
Not
means you'll be able.
entirely sure what I mean by that, like
Well,
for each session.
my brain takes me to the fact that you can drop down and have it on easy forgetting about it, and you might be able to like adjust the difficulty settings whilst you're in.
That would be cool.
So if you're not getting any animals or anything, you could pop it up to difficult to get some predators and
Yeah,
then
and then
pop it
after
back
you get
down.
killed by
Yeah.
bears a couple of times, you're like, yeah, you know, well, maybe I should go
Yeah.
back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So being able to adjust it on the go, that's what I perceive that to say.
yeah, like during a session.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that would be really cool. Okay, will resources regenerate?
Unfortunately, resources in open world will not regenerate at this time. However, this isn't set in stone, and expect this in the future in a different format than outposts currently do. So, not from the get go, but in the future, they will regenerate in some way. Otherwise, after you have spent a couple of dozen of hours in the open world, you will have stripped the entire planet of resources.
Yeah, yeah. Froggy says, "Wow, that means we have to go far to get resources." Yes, we
Uh,
do.
Initially, yes. However, from the looks of it, at some point, and I hope it won't be in the too distant future, but at some point they are going to implement some kind of a resource regeneration.
Yeah, well, considering the fact that you can leave in your dropship and go back to it, it would suggest that they might do it the same way as they do outposts at the minute anyway.
It will be in a different format than outposts currently do. So maybe respawning resources during sessions.
Well, yeah, that would be better.
Kinda yes, because right now in my outpost I'm close to a cave. I mine the cave, go back to character select, go back to the prospect, mine that cave again. It's kinda cheesing it a bit, and it also means you don't have to travel multiple map grids to get your ores. So yeah, if it would be a respawn or regenerate on the go, but in like a certain slower rate, I would be fine with that.
Yeah,
It entices you to do a bit more traveling.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Frog says hopefully they do, because otherwise it will be treacherous to get resources. Yeah, like I said multiple times already, at some point you will have stripped the world of all resources. You will have mined all the caves. There will be no ore no more.
yeah.
You will have mined all the oxide rocks. Yeah, so you can't breathe no more. You will have cut down all the trees.
So
You
you
won't have
can't
no
build
wood no
anything.
more.
Yeah,
You will have mined all the rocks, all the silica, everything. So some resource regeneration will be necessary in order to keep it playable.
yeah. That actually kind of makes me want to like go into the open world prospect and literally just clear it of absolutely everything
Well, it does
just to
also
see what
mean
it looks like.
well, it does also mean that since the current outpost will be converted to open world, that I'll have to go in and stock up on materials a lot. So initially, I still have resources to work with up
Yes,
until the point that they implement some form of resource regeneration.
yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, like go in and absolutely strip the map of absolutely everything. Um, could just to see how it looks, like no trees, no shrubs, no sticks, no stones, no nothing.
You can kind of do it in an exploration mission already.
Yeah, but I've never done it though.
True, true. Yeah, Froggy says makes me not want to play an open world. Uh, Depends actually, Froggy. Like depends on how much resource do you need, how fast will they implement resource regeneration and stuff. But to say I'm not gonna play open world at all, just you wait. There are a couple of nice things in the open world, which we will get to in this Q&A.
Alrighty. All right. Next up, where were we? Oh, there.
World bosses.
Yes. Are there? Yeah. Okay, they spelt that wrong. Are there should be THERE
Yeah, I
world
know.
bosses in open world?
Yes, there are, and they will respawn as well. So you want to
Cool.
make multiple sets of scorpion armor? No problem, there are your scorps. You want to make multiple sets of sandworm armor? No problem. Here's a bunch of sandworms. They will come back after you kill them.
Yeah. So you don't need to worry about whether or not you only get 40 scales from a sandworm
Exactly.
because they'll,
And
they'll
particularly for the
respawn.
sandworm, for every time you hit a sandworm, it drops skills.
Yes,
So if you go in guns blazing, literally guns blazing, you will get less skills than if you kill a sandworm with a knife. Because you will
yes.
have to hit it way more times with a knife, so it will actually drop way more skills.
Yeah, we did that actually, if you remember, because we figured out the more you hit it, the more it drops the scales. And
Exactly.
so somebody was in with, like one person was kind of taking the aggro of the sandworm and shooting arrows at it. And like you were taking the aggro, and I would run in and knife it.
Yeah.
But then I had to run out again because it does that twisty thing. So
Yeah, I know.
you know, so it it
Yeah,
it
for
it makes it really interesting to try and kill a sandworm doing it that way. It's a lot of fun,
definitely.
actually. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Foggy says with no respawn of resources you run out of arrows. Now initially I wanted to say bone arrows, and then I realized, yeah, but they need sticks.
Yes, they do.
So yeah, stone arrows, bone arrows,
Yeah, and and
no
and it,
nothing.
yeah, and if there's no wood, you can't even make sticks in your inventory.
Yeah. But it's not only arrows, it's weaponry as well. Your bow
Yeah,
will wear out. You can't repair it no more if you have no resources.
yeah,
So
can't
yeah,
make
that
another one.
exactly. Exception caveworm bows.
Yes,
The
you would be.
caveworm bow is being repaired with the scales. Scales come
Yes,
from the caveworms which respawn. So once you
yes,
have a caveworm bow, it's fine.
yeah. Once you've got
Arrows,
one of them,
however,
yeah, I don't, that's a whole different story
yeah,
because that they need sticks.
yeah. So yeah, they will come up
Yeah,
relatively quickly, I reckon, with a way for resource regeneration. Otherwise, indeed, uh, it will become unplayable.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Next.
Okay, dokie. Is it possible to leave and return with a different workshop loadout to and from my open world prospect?
Yes, this is possible. Side note here is they say it is possible for the outpost as well. I tested this and I'm not so sure it is possible in the outpost currently. Not even if you leave by dropship. I'm now talking about my own outpost. It might be different if you join someone else's outpost. But in your own outpost, even if you leave by dropship, I was at some point like, you know what? I want this workshop deep vein scanner thingy.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I left my dropship, changed my loadout to include this scanner, dropped back in, and guess what? I did not have the scanner.
Oh,
I hope they will look at this proper for the open world though.
yeah. Okay. Alrighty, next up. Can I earn exotics in open world?
No, like outposts, exotics will not spawn in open world currently. Currently means it might be in the future, however, and this is something we've discussed before, as exotics will start to devaluate as a currency if you can get them too easily in an open world,
Yeah,
where in an
yeah,
open world where they respawn and stuff like that.
yeah,
It becomes like you only have to build your extractors once, and then if the exotics then respawn, you don't even have to do any work for it. You just take out your extractors and your generator, you plonk them down, and straight away mine the exotics again. So they will devaluate as a currency if they make it too easy to get them.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, our main characters currently have a lot of exotics and a lot of Ren, but that's just
Yeah,
basically because we now have, the main characters are fully decked. They have a choice of inventory, whereas by contrast, we have tried to make sure that the money earned by the six characters is spent by these six characters, and we're not mixing the main character rewards with the six character rewards because
Yeah.
it detracts from the whole point of striving for gear.
Yeah. And sure, we have quite a lot of rare and exotics, but we have worked for it.
Yes.
Uh, you go into the uh, Spirit Walk mission to mine those 3 exotic veins.
Yeah.
But every time we do this, we have to build a base, build the extractors. Like we have to put in the work to earn the rewards.
Yes.
If you could drop in and just walk to an existing base, pick up the extractors, walk over to the ore location, the vein location, or already have a storage there with the extractors in, it's no work no more, so it loses the value.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you could actually cheese the system completely because it means that you can just have, it means that you can farm the exotics from your outpost, take them up, and then you don't have to worry about actually trying to earn them whilst defending them from predators.
So yeah,
f- you know,
no exotics in the open world. I'm fine with it,
yeah, I'm
and I
fine
like
with
it
that as well.
actually.
Yeah, and I actually, yeah, I prefer the fact that you can't get them easily.
Yeah.
So, okay, next up, are open world sessions stored locally?
Yes. Open world sessions are saved locally on your PC's hard drive. Well, again, like outposts.
Hmm.
So it is a good idea to regularly back up the folder where they are stored, as well for
Yep.
outposts, as well as for the new open world.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Because
don't.
if you have put in a lot of time in your open world, a lot of buildings and stuff, you don't want to lose that.
No, no, for sure. I mean that's a hell of a lot of work to lose.
Yeah.
um, so yeah. I mean, early on in the game, if you couldn't play a mission or like during the or just after the beta weekends, they released the outposts, and you actually clocked up a lot of your time in the outpost when you couldn't play with the team.
You don't want to lose that progress in the buildings and basically all the time you've put in.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, that is so much work to.
No. Unfortunately, these files sometimes get corrupted and then there is no way to fix it. You just have to hope you made a copy of it recently, which you can then put the files back, restore the
Yeah,
files, so
yeah,
you go back to that situation. If you have not made any copy and the files get corrupted, sorry, it is gone permanently, period.
yeah, yeah. Which reminds me, I should actually update my my outpost file because I don't think I haven't done that. Do you remember when my outpost was the shape of a diamond and then we
Hmm.
changed it? Right. Well, I haven't updated it since it was a diamond. So yeah, I need to re-update my backup files. All right. Can a prospector who joined my open world host it themselves later?
Nope. The open world session will stay with the original host, again, like the outpost, and this has to do with the fact that those files are stored locally.
Yes.
The
Yes.
files, if I start an open world, The files reside on my PC. You join? Sure, you can join as long as I run it.
Yes.
Later on, you want to run it? Sorry, you don't have the files,
Yeah. It was
so
like
you can't
when
host it.
yeah, it was like when we started hosting the Valheim server. At first, you could only play it if we were in, but then as we figured out how to leave it running. We ended up just running it 24/7, so you could go in and do whatever you felt like whenever you wanted to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense that you can't just jump into the open world and carry on where you left off if the host isn't there. Okay, can you choose your landing zone in open world?
Yes, you will be able to choose from an array of available landing zones when dropping in, so you don't have as far to travel to your chosen building location. Any multiplayer team members, however, will have to follow your landing zone selection rather than selecting their own. So the host can actually decide where everyone drops in.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so yeah, you can say, okay, I'm gonna build something up north now. So you drop in north. Any team players, they drop in north as well. Another
yes.
time you like, yeah, I'm now gonna go south. So you drop in south, and team members drop in south.
Well, actually, maybe not, because the next one fills that question, which is can you choose a different landing zone when you return to the map, or are you locked to one?
Oh, interesting. I had not seen that one. Yeah, no, you will be locked into the landing zone you chose on your first descent. Interesting. So you might wanna drop in the center.
It would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Alrighty, well, it's just as well I noticed that.
Okay. I put some info in the chat. Uh, this is for Windows machines. The percent local app data percent folder is going to your local app data of your the local app data folder of your user profile. There's a folder Icarus for obviously for Icarus game. The saved folder, just make a copy of the entire folder. I mean, you could do the outpost subfolder. This is where the outpost files are stored. There will be another subfolder for open world, I reckon. But
Yeah,
just do the entire saved folder. It's easy. I mean, it ain't big, so it doesn't take much disk space anyway.
yeah, and if you play in an outpost regularly, like if you play in an outpost more than you do play with a team because or actually do a mission, I, I would update it once a week.
I'm looking at the folders now. They're less than 650 megs, so
Yeah, so they're not such a large file, you can definitely afford to update them, very regularly.
and you don't have to copy them in the same location. You can back it up to somewhere else. For like, you back it up to OneDrive or something,
Yeah,
Google Drive,
yeah,
whatever. Just make sure you regularly make copies of that folder.
yeah, yeah. You
Right.
keep yourself right. Okay. uh, why don't you leave Olympus as an outpost?
Well, we want Outpost to be a controlled sandbox environment with respawning resources where players can test and create builds. We felt that the Olympus Outpost was leaning more towards the future of open world than our vision for outposts, and belonged in that part of the game. Expect more updates to this to reflect this intention though. So yeah, they kinda have a point. However, I wouldn't. I would need to create new outposts to confront this. But do the outposts all have, for example, the MOA? I know for a fact the Arctic outpost does not have MOA, does not have buffalo. So that outpost is one where you cannot test mounts. I'm not sure about the other two outposts though. If they don't have MOA and or Buffalo, it means you can't proper test the mounts. You can't fully test the mounts on those outposts. And
Yeah.
this was possible in Olympus. You have the entire map, you have like everything there. So yeah, I hope if they convert Olympus Outpost to open world, that they will give us the opportunity to fully test everything in our outposts. And now I'm at this point specifically referring to the whole mount system.
Yeah. 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 Which is quite a marked difference, actually, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Next up, how are open world and missions related, and are there plans for it?
Currently, open world and the instant missions are separate, but your character can switch between the two. For now, if you run a mission on a map, you won't see any buildings from your open world session, because it might give you an unfair advantage in some missions. We have talked about this last week, for example, as well.
Hmm.
However, in the future, we have plans to tie these modes more closely together, allowing a seamless experience between the two. Uh, I will voice my concerns again. If this means you can start a mission from a fully kitted base, you are gonna take away a lot of the fun, a lot of the challenge.
Yes.
Yes, for me, challenge equals fun. I know other people are like, they don't like the challenges too much, they don't like the grinds. Well, for me, grinds are part of the gameplay, but especially the challenge. It makes the game fun to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand that there are people who are like, yeah, it's especially if you play solo, you know.
Yeah.
Then
I
if you
mean,
can start the mission from a fully kitted base, you just go to the base, you equip everything, like full set of composite armor, all altered and everything, weaponry all altered and everything,
hmm
mounts ready to go. You know, I can understand, especially for solo players, how they would prefer that.
yeah. Yeah.
For me,
Because,
I'm like not too sure about it.
yeah. Well, I mean, Icarus was created. Well, my impression is that Icarus was created to be a multiplayer game.
Hmm. Exactly. You can play
And
it solo, however, it's primarily developed as a multiplayer game.
yeah, but there are a couple of missions which I think would be difficult to complete solo, and they are the shorter of the timed missions.
Yep,
For example, we did a 6 hour mission yesterday.
we did it in 5 hours and a couple of seconds.
Yeah. We weren't rushing it, but
True.
neither were we like just, farting about and not giving a crap about how much time we had and what we were doing kind of thing.
Yeah.
However, there's also a 3 hour mission that may well possibly push a solo player to the limit of the timeline allowed, considering what you have to do.
Yep, and these are missions which then almost require space gear.
Yes, and not only that, but we only did those missions like the 6-hour mission and the 3-hour mission, and we only completed them in time because we played it multiplayer.
Yeah,
Then there
true.
was 3 of us, and I mean, okay,
If you
fair
have two
enough.
or three players collecting resources to build your base, it goes way faster.
Yes, exactly. And I can see how that 3-hour mission would be quite difficult for a solo player to complete. Um, so yeah, I can see why they've answered that the way they did. And the image there is of the minor armor, I believe, or maybe it's composite. And it has the
Looks
shot
like composite.
arrow.
It's the grey one,
Yeah, yeah,
and the taser arrow indeed.
yeah, the taser arrow. So, yeah. Now we're on to the change logs, which
Right.
is the second half of the update. So new
Uh,
content is pretty much
the armor which we talked about already, and the new
and the
mission
new missions.
which we
So
talked about already.
yeah, so we can
So one
skip
thing to keep in
that.
mind, they reduced all the armor durability values by 50% as a part of the armor damage mitigation refactor. So don't be alarmed if you log back into your mission and you're like, hey, why does my armor have so little durability? This is a bug. No, it's not a bug. It's a feature. Well,
Yes,
it's part of a feature.
yes.
So,
Okay.
onto the fixes.
Yep.
They tweaked the chat box for readability. Uh, well, they've done work on the chat box before, and like before, I'm gonna say it again now. We don't really use the chat box. We use Discord. So I wouldn't know.
I've never used the chat box.
Yes, we did. Uh, when I know I forgot his name. When he was playing with us.
Who?
Initially, he didn't have his audio set up properly, so communication was a tad hard. So we actually made use of the
Oh,
chat box.
yes.
Remember in the geezer when we were doing the
Yeah, I even made a clip of it.
geezer.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, yes. I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember the dude's name. So, sorry.
oh, it's okay.
Alrighty. Okay, you want to take us through the next one?
Right. So they modified the default scalability config to improve view distance settings. The default settings were too aggressive, resulting in extremely short view distances, which offered little to no performance gain, as distant objects are well optimized and don't cause a huge performance hit. Uh, Actually, I noticed when I was playing my outpost, they have been messing around with the details settings again, or not really the settings, but like if you have the details on low, you didn't used to see like the grass and all the leaves on the ground and stuff,
Yeah,
making everything much clearer, and also when you're streaming, it makes everything better visible.
yeah.
Now there are grass and leaves again,
Oh,
even
okay.
on low detail settings.
Okay.
So yeah, I noticed they've been changing things there. Yes.
Alrighty. They have deleted some old, unused static mesh foliage assets.
Well, if they're not used anymore, indeed, delete them. Thank you.
Yep. They have also improved culling distance settings on various static mesh foliage assets to draw at more appropriate distances. Some were way too far and some were way too short.
Yeah, basically as a part of the whole overhaul of the
Yeah,
visibility settings, so to say. You know, the part of it was another thing there in the settings was mentioned last week when they were saying like we have this new option, limit your pool size to your VRAM, which is by default on.
yeah.
They're all for visibility settings. All yeah settings and yeah, let's call them settings. Basically improves visibility because Icarus is running very hard on your GPU,
Yeah.
very GPU intensive, and especially your video memory is
Hmm.
being taxed a lot by Icarus.
Yeah.
Makes me wanna go and buy one of the new 4090 series.
Yeah. Alrighty.
But if only they were a bit cheaper.
Well, yeah, there is that.
But yeah.
They have added dithered LOD transition support to the MAITN shader, as many foliage assets use this shader and without it, culling won't work properly.
Well, foliage is visible again, so they definitely changed something there.
Okay. And the next three have just been repeated from above. In fact, the
For
next four are just, I think they're copy and pasted.
yeah,
Okay.
submitting all dead prospectors with aging variations, blueprints, textures, and materials. Aging variations. Well, I don't know. Do you see? Say if a prospector is lying unconscious, or is this the dead one? No, that would only show the dog tags if it's left behind. I'm not sure. The dead prospectors.
Hmm.
I don't know. Or is it if you're lying unconscious waiting for your teammate to revive that you actually see a change in your armor? I don't know.
Hmm. We'll have to keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, I have not tested this on my own in my outpost though.
Yeah. Okay. This next one is huge. It's 15 gigabytes huge.
Yeah, cleaned
Clean.
out 15 gigabytes worth of unused assets in the Megascans folder. Now, I'm not sure this Megascans folder is part of the game files though. Can I see this? Steam apps? No, yes. Come on. Yeah, then I would have to go through all the folders to try and find this Megascans folder.
Oh well, they got rid of 15 gig worth of unused assets. That's huge.
Especially if it's part of the game files, yes, then it is.
Yeah.
Because 15 gigs less data means 15 gigs less files to verify upon each update.
Mm-hmm.
So, if this is indeed part of the game files, it's big.
Yep. Okay. Added data table validation for D-map icons to prevent invisible icons due to invalid color.
It's always good to be able to see your icons, that's for sure.
Uh-huh. Okay. Next couple, if you please.
Sure. So I was still clicking through the folders. I do not see any Megascans folder in the game files. Not on the in the Steam folder for Icarus. Anyway. Right. So cleaned up a ton of unused assets. lot of triplicate unused material functions and shaders materials. More removal of unused substance and megascans assets. Again, cleanup of unused stuff. Good.
Yep.
This is a nice one. Fix the cave worm spawn on reload. If a player saves and reloads inside a cave, cave worms previously killed do not immediately respawn on load. So you want a safe place to log off, you go into a cave, you kill the cave worms, you log off. You log back in and they insta respawn, start spitting you, killing you. No longer. Good.
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 That's a nice one.
Yeah. Crafting jobs are now aborted if output storage becomes full. Well, this is mentioned above.
Yep.
Instead of the previous behavior where each item was dropped into the world. Good.
Okay. That's a nice one.
Fix a divide by zero assert seen in PIE. Divide by zero will always result in an error.
Yeah.
Update the hide UI function to work while mounted. It's mentioned above as
Above. Yeah.
well. You know, the photo mode and mounted, you can now hide UI. Also, the next bullet point, permit
Yep.
the UI to be hidden when mounted. Gate attempts to open the inventory crafting tech tree map menu toggle when UI is hidden. So yeah, you should be able to. I have not tested it yet though, but you should now be able to like interact with stuff even when the UI is hidden.
Good.
Here's something I have not run into myself. Fix an issue where a player would try to attack a creature or object with an arrow embedded. Like you shoot a deer and with an arrow and then you try to knife it. It
Yeah.
would try to attack an arrow embedded creature of objects with a melee weapon. Then the arrows would block the hit and the intended object would be unharmed. So you try to hit the deer or say a wolf, because that one will attack you. You hit it with an arrow, it comes towards you, you switch to your knife, you want to stab the wolf and you hit your arrow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I fixed that, especially with when dancing bears and you run out of arrows, you have to finish it off with your knife.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do not want to have to destroy all the arrows first before actually hitting the bear.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm glad I fixed that.
Yeah. Okay. Payday. They updated the quest set to factor placed extractors, preventing issues where you could find the exotic deposit but not progress the mission. Payday updated prospect view tooltip to indicate that it unlocks the workshop radar and extractor.
So it doesn't unlock the veins, but it unlocks the radar and extractor.
Yeah.
The workshop ones? I thought it unlocked the blueprints.
Hmm. It's been a while since we played it, actually.
Hmm.
Okay, the next two have
Let's
already
check.
been spoken about above.
3 actually.
Well, we haven't touched in camera mode, really.
We did
We
way
did
above.
talk about it upstairs, yeah, up above, so yeah.
And the changes from top 250 features, I believe.
Yep. The next one has already been is again a repeat of one above.
Yeah. Unhide UI on death and on escape. Unhide UI on death. We're still able to see the. Yeah, you were. If you were unconscious, you still had some of the UI there. No longer. Well,
Hmm.
you'll have to die so you can show the people on the stream.
Oh, I like how I have to die.
They can see your gameplay, not mine.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's true. I do have to die.
unfortunate, huh? Unfortunate, quote
Yeah.
unquote. You'll have to die.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, chat. I'll make her do it.
It's the only downside to being the one that streams. It means
Don't worry.
if I want to show the peeps, I have to see it.
Um, I'll sure she die, even if I have to do it myself.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So
Uh,
this means that the game is now playable to a large degree when the user interface is hidden.
good. Because I like to try and get some of my clips with the UI hidden.
Yeah,
It's good for getting a screenshot. Um, the downside is that you
you can't do
literally
stuff no more.
yeah, you can't do stuff no more because you can't see it.
So the next one we have talked about as well. This is from the feature about top
Yep.
250. Fix the bug where if you had too many stun debuffs, your stamina would drop so low that you wouldn't be able to jump and would get stuck if you fall into any hole or crevice. Next one we have, this was mentioned a couple of bullet points above. Prevent a
Mhm.
cave worm spawn on a reload. Save respawn timeout for cave worms. This means that if a player saves and reloads inside a cave, the cave worms previously killed do not immediately respawn on load. Good.
Yeah. So if you went into a large cave and you killed 7 worms, it means you don't come back down or you don't respawn into it with 7 worms
Mm,
all spitting at you at the same time.
yeah. You can only dodge so many cave worms at a time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, there's a couple there for Voyager.
Yeah, the fix the process progress blocker when the ship launches earlier in the quest. Haven't we had that issue? At some point when we were playing with
Yes, we have.
Carl, a dropship took off and it didn't tick off the mission step, so we had
Yep,
to abandon the mission.
yep, yep.
And they fixed the typo in the quest description.
Good, good.
I've seen something in Discord about indeed a typo in a well, not the mission description though, it was a mission step. Uh, I don't know which mission anymore and which step and what the typo was, but
Yeah, it kind of sets your OCD off when you see it, though.
yeah.
Okay, fixed bug where player couldn't remove last item from crafting queue. I've had that. I've suffered that.
We couldn't remove it. I've
Yep.
never had that issue.
Oh, I have.
They also fixed a bug where on-player crafting would not start if there wasn't a backpack inventory slot available, but still hotbar slots.
Mhm.
Then it wouldn't start crafting. You had to like make room in your inventory in order to have it start crafting.
Yeah.
And any
And
crafting jobs
finally,
that run out of storage space now leave the paused crafting job in the queue for visibility. So at least you still know what you're trying to craft.
yeah, it won't disappear from the queue. It'll just pause it, which means, like if you come back and it's paused, you have the opportunity to complete the cycle.
Yeah. Now let's skim quickly through the feature content, shall we?
Yep.
Uh,
Uh,
when I skimmed through them earlier today, I saw 2, 3, 4 points which caught my attention. Like we're gonna get tomatoes, right? We have wheat, we
okay.
have tomatoes, we
Hold,
have
hold,
bacon.
hold,
Huh?
hold, hold on. This added new crossbow bolts, explosive
Oh,
scatter bleed, and taser.
yeah, not sure what you wanna do with a scattering bolt,
Is it not
but okay.
maybe like a shrapnel bolt?
Which would then cause bleed, right?
You would think.
Yeah. Yeah. But there will be new crossbow bolts.
Yeah.
Always good to have options when using a weapon.
Yeah. The other thing is that we have those in arrows, so it's good that they've evened the the
That
scales a
they
bit there. Yeah.
yeah that they've ported them over to crossbows as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Uh
tomatoes. So we have wheat. We can make dough. We have tomatoes. We have bacon. Now all we need is a possibility to milk buffalo, make cheese, and then we can make pizza, right?
well, actually, it would probably be better if you could milk a chamois because you get goat cheese,
True.
which
As
is
long as I
really,
can,
really good on pizza.
as long as I can get my pizza, I'm fine with it. Yeah, whatever pizza is fucking. Yeah, definitely.
Yep, yep, exactly.
But yeah, 5 growth stages, a dead variant and a wild variant, which suggests you can plant them in a crop plot, which suggests it is for consumption.
Well,
Also created a blueprint and foliage type for the wild variant. So yeah,
cool.
wild variants and a domesticated. So yeah, it does look like an additional food type.
Yeah, and also here's another thought. We have wheat, which means we could ferment it into vodka, and if we've got tomatoes, you've got a Bloody Mary.
There you go.
There you go. So you've got pizza and a drink.
Just be careful
Ju-
with your t-shirt, eh? Yep. So let's see what else. I believe I saw something about potatoes here as well. Yeah, and there's all close to the bottom potato foliage assets.
Yeah. Sorry about that coughing, peeps.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, adding a mega tree on the Blue Quad DLC map.
Okay,
When
hold
I
on.
read this, my first thought was, and now I've completely forgot the name of the movie. Pandora.
What? Which? I'm not seeing it. Where is it?
Hold on. Where is it? I think you scrolled past it. No, you scrolled past it. Go back up, 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 up. Hold. Let's see. So you see the selected one and 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-ish below. Come on. What's the movie called? Avatar?
Uh,
Okay, so stop scrolling. You see delete, forum, road to
yep,
fix build validation, adding mega tree on blue quad DLC map. You've seen the movie Avatar, right?
yeah.
You remember that mega tree in the
Oh,
movie?
yes.
Right.
Oh,
It was like my
cool.
first thought when I saw this added mega tree.
Yeah, well, actually, do you know what it made me think of?
Huh?
The Tree of Life in Valheim. It's
Uh,
always there, but you'll never ever find the base of it.
Not true. In the latest patch, no, there was, or no, not a patch itself. There is kinda looking forward gameplay footage of someone actually walking on the Tree of Life in Valheim.
Really?
Speculation there. Maybe you can actually get on the tree and use it to travel to different worlds. Maybe it's a
Mm.
branch which fell off. There is some speculation there, but it did show someone standing on what seems to be like part of the Tree of Life.
Wow.
Looking at the textures. Now it was an image, so which I saw, so I'm not sure whether it was gameplay footage or a screenshot or just some game art, but it did
Yeah.
spark speculation though.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Okay.
and let's see, so a bit more talk about the radio there, like the mission communication device, I reckon.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, this is the exotic delivery radio. So yeah, the also a bit more on the exotic delivery port, which you can call in to deliver exotics
Yes.
to the space station whilst you continue your mission.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So blah blah. What else?
Here's a
Adding
good one.
in alien fossil cave temp. So we're gonna see alien fossils. Interesting.
Okay. Adding new quest steps for Prometheus missions.
Yeah, don't let your OCD go wild on the missing eye. Adding a base class for retrieve item, renaming quest, retrieve item class to reflect its operations. It also spawns a crate, so there's a bit of info about that new mission. Not much, but still.
Okay. Where are you reading that from?
Connect, hold on. So, connecting fiction missions to talent graph for Prometheus.
Mm.
Something Carl has mentioned multiple times. What he wanted to like is like do missions for affection to gain reputation with that mission to unlock whatever from that mission.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if talents are going to be locked behind some kind of score you have with a specific faction,
Mm-hmm.
are going to be interesting. So you need to do an X amount of missions for this faction in order to gain a certain reputation, in order
Yeah.
to unlock certain talents or certain whatever. Could be cool.
Yeah, that's kind of starting to sound a bit like Destiny 2.
And not only Destiny 2, there are more games
Oh,
making
yeah.
use of this.
Yeah. Elite Dangerous, there's another faction mission
Exactly.
game. Yeah, okay. Um, this is an interesting one. Adding cheat functions for settings and getting account flags.
Add cheat functions. Yeah. Now, I reckon this is for dev testing
Yeah,
and
probably.
like gain access to certain functions, so
Yeah,
certain blueprints, etc. If certain flags are set on your account,
yeah.
and in
Oh,
order
here,
to not have to do it manually in a database, like
yeah, here's an interesting one. Swapping contaminated bear creature to be bat dog in Prometheus intro mission.
contaminated bear. We've talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I believe.
Yes, yes, we did.
So in the intro mission, the contaminated bear was removed, and they put the bad dog in.
Yeah. Okay, dokie.
Uh, let's see where I remember. Okay, if you scroll down a bit more.
Oh, there we go. There's your adding in alien fossil cave temp.
Yep. And two below, adding the base predator bird setup and new swoop animations. Still missing the corpse behavior and dive bomb logic, the one underneath. The missing dive
Ah,
bomb and swoop animations from the last predator bird commit. So
predator, but yeah, I'm going with pterodactyl.
it's gonna do some dive bomb attack.
Yeah, that sounds
He's diving down on you, pooping on you, and then pulls back up.
predator bird.
Stuka.
Seagulls do that.
Mhm. So, yeah, gonna be interesting to see what kind of attack we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Alrighty. There you
Like
go.
seven or eight
Added
below.
potato
Yeah.
foliage assets. Created blueprints, foliage types, and added FLOD to data table. And
Yeah.
added it to the FLOD data table.
Potato, possible new food source.
Yep,
The
with the
two below
tomato.
are interesting as well, you know. Adding tech for providing pre-built bases for use on terrains and missions. And adding some pre-built bases for missions. So Prometheus DLC, will it give us missions with pre-built bases, like maybe partially built, or you have to repair it in order to, and then you can use it for the rest of the mission? That's going to be interesting. And
Yeah,
also interesting to see what kind of architecture those bases have, which kind of layout, and like the whole idea behind the base, like how is it set up,
yeah,
stuff. Gonna
yeah.
be interesting.
And we've
Maybe
got
we get some new pointers for our own base.
yeah, but we've become so used to the 3 by 3 by 2 that chances are we'll see these pre-built bases, use them until we build our 3 by 3 by 2,
Yeah,
and then
use the
salvage
resources,
it for
like
resources.
yeah, like tear down the pre-built base, use the resources for our own base. Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's sounding rather
Yeah.
Valheimish.
But yeah, for people who find the building the base in each mission, who think that's too grindy, for those this is gonna be good news as well.
Oh, that's going to be heaven sent, especially for the solo players too.
Yeah. You don't need to build a base, you just can move into a pre-existing one.
Yeah, and as long as you've got a repair hammer, you should be able to repair it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not expecting, I mean, I would expect to come up upon quote unquote ruined base, you
I don't
know.
know. It, there has been rumors about this, like, or talks about this, like maybe in the future you'll be seeing, like base ruins, when people were like, you do the same mission or at least the same terrain over and over again, and you never see anything which you built before.
Yeah,
At some point there was talk, but I believe it was only from the community as an idea. Not sure it was from the devs as possible, possibly in the future, some base remains.
yeah,
Uh, on the other hand, don't forget all maps in Icarus are static. They're not procedurally generated. They're all static. So
yeah,
if they would add some base remains, it would be in all the missions. Because it's like they all use the same map.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
still, it would be a nice touch. Not really important, but a nice touch.
Yeah, yeah,
On the other hand, it would be need to be at least stone. Otherwise, after a couple of storms, it will be completely gone. Wood and especially thatch. So at least stone, because even aluminum takes damage in
yeah,
normal storms. Stone or even concrete in the missions with the heavy weather conditions.
yeah, yeah. See, here again, we're just a couple of points underneath that, adding in P-Bird sweep audio and event and adding to animation.
Yep.
You see that I'm sticking with pterodactyl for that because it starts with a P, a silent P.
On the other hand, we're talking about Prometheus. Prometheus is supposed to be transition between terraformed and alien.
Yeah,
Uh, I admit the MOA is kind of defossilized. We brought it back. Not
yeah.
sure. It's I don't know. Is it still existing bird or is it
Mm,
extinct?
I
If it's
don't.
extinct, then defossilized means we brought it back from extinction. In which case, you could do pterodactyl. Or will this be some semi-alien creature,
Hmm.
which is also
Yeah.
possible? Especially, like I said, we're talking about Prometheus.
Yeah. Yeah. Okie dokie.
It's going to be interesting,
and
to say
and
the least.
and the final one is a blank.
Yeah, to be continued.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Well, but yeah, they're working on the quest for Prometheus. Because he finished up another quest, adding various quest markers and quests plural to the Prometheus map.
Yeah.
They're working on it.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
that, folks, brings us to the end of this week's update. There's a lot in that one.
yeah, more than I thought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's a really good one, so.
Oh yeah.
It's a really good one.
And hey, we have a new mission. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, I have started the game. Nudge
Oh,
nudge, wink wink.
yeah, okay, yeah, hint, hint.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I am going to need to take a little bit of a break. It's currently 13 minutes to the hour. Um, oh, it's me again is back. Hello, he's been lurking in the background. Comments right at the end again. Says starting a mission from a kitted out base may be fine if the mission is difficult, expansive enough. That's a
uh,
good point.
true, true. Also depends how kitted out will the base be.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, will you find a fully operational fabricator there already? That's gonna shave off an easy 2 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, I reckon that's going to be like way too easy. I would
Uh,
expect
mm,
a
maybe in
damaged base with maybe a couple of bedrolls, a fireplace, a crafting bench, and if you're lucky, maybe a herbalist's. But the
maybe an
rest you got to do.
oxidizer, but
y-
not an oxide
Yeah,
dissolver or
and
something like that.
yeah, and you got to fix it all in order to use it first,
Well,
and then
already bedrolls alone would be a nice touch.
yeah, I mean, I would expect to find the most basic of basic rundown cabins sitting in the middle of the forest, kind
Eh,
of thing that, it'll do if you need to survive and get some really quick shelter.
yep.
So yeah. And
Oh, and
Froggy,
apparently Foggy says I have to let you go for a smoke. I mean,
yeah,
come
yeah,
on,
I
smoking is
was.
overrated anyway. Though I have to admit, I have rolled myself a ciggy as well.
Yes. Well, no, you're not allowed to have it. You have to go and play the game whilst I go for a smoke.
So you want me to finish the mission already before you join? Nah, then only thing I can show the people is user interface hidden when being dead.
uh,
You need to be able to. You need to be there as well for the whole giving the
yes.
people look of the new mission as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of do have to be there. So I will be there, but I will be there in a little bit after, indeed, Froggy, I have had a smoke. And maybe even throw some food down my throat because I haven't. Oh, well, I had a sandwich earlier on, but it's really not enough to keep going. So I need to try and find something really quick to eat. Um,
Eating is overrated anyway.
it is for you. I've been
True, true.
I've been humping parcels around all day. So yeah, I need to eat. Um, so it is 10 to the hour right now. How's about 11, which would make 12 your time? And I'm quite sure the peeps can figure out their own time zone. It's not that I'm lazy, it's just I get so confused.
It's just,
I can't figure it out. I can't figure out who's in
oh, it's
which time
easy.
zone.
It's easy. 15 minutes from now.
Yes, yes. 15 minutes from now, we will be back with the new mission. Um,
And yeah, we'll do it without any equipment, of course. Why not?
yes, we will come down with exception.
No.
Well, we have to have
N-
a suit.
yeah, but we can use the starter suit.
The supporters edition one.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Oh
So yeah, Chad, especially for you, we will do the suffering.
God.
So
Yeah,
we
and
will be
chance
very slow, and mining will be slow, and
and running will be slow.
exactly. But
Yeah,
we'll play as a rookie.
yeah. We will play as a newbie because this is supposed to be rookie friendly.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
this
what we're going to do.
branches off from the live wire terrain scan, so you should be at least level 10, 15.
Yeah, which means you can have a crafting bench and anything
Yeah,
else that comes
yeah,
after it. Okay.
right. We're
Now we
going
only
for
have
13 minutes left.
yeah. Okay. 15 minutes from now, we will be back with the new mission. So we will see you then. Until then, it's good night from me.
And good night from her.
And we will see you in 15 minutes. Remember, peeps, it's a dangerous world out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.